Eastern suburbs, red, white, and blue, we're flying high. Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs. Took flight, come on. Born in Bondi, so the skies ignite. From the east our spirits rise. Red, white, blue, our story told. From nothing we rose, made our claim. Eastern pride, we built our name. Stronger now, we never fall. Rooster spirit standing tall. Yeah, come on, feel that pride, let's go. Since the start the legacy lives. Power the heartbeat gives. Red and blue, we walk with pride. Fears by sight, can't hide our vibe. Flags up high, crowd in sync. Roosters rule, we never blink. Eastern suburbs, da, 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 da. Eastern suburbs, da, 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 da. Red, white, and blue, we're flying high. Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs, da, 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 da. Roosters! Get up! Feel that pride! Grand on fire, glory set. Fighting with fire, no regrets. Yeah! Every tackle, every try, hit hard.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Sydney Roosters Diehards. Haynes here, and we are back for another episode of the Sydney Roosters Diehards weekend wrap-up, where we go through the latest Roosters news, updates, and opinions over the weekend. Just got back from Sydney last night. As you can tell, if you follow my personal stuff, Haynes_T on YouTube and on Instagram, that I was down in Sydney for the weekend for UFC, City Derby. It was a great weekend. 100%. A few things to talk about. Potentially leaked Roosters away jersey from the lower grades. More on a little bit as well. A little bit of information about the upcoming trial games that kick off this weekend. However, the Roosters are in action next weekend, but the first weekend of the trials kick off this weekend, and then finish it up with a few other bits and pieces. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the Sydney Roosters Diehards, and give us a follow on the Instagram page for your latest Roosters updates, news, and opinions. Get into the live chat. We've got Jason, as always. G'day to Jason. How are you, my friend? Nathan Dallas, when will we find out about the away jersey? It's a mystery at this stage when it's going to be officially released. I was hearing very, very soon, because obviously we've got the trial games next weekend, and the Roosters are away to the West Tigers, as the West Tigers home team in Newcastle. So maybe next week we'll see it on field in the top level, but not too sure when it's going to be out on sale for the rest of us. Not 100% sure on that one. We heard other bits of information about it, so very not just I don't have the answer for you, my friend. I do apologize. And how was the UFC, mate? It was unreal. Being there live to see Volkanovski fight in Sydney, it was just incredible. Once in a lifetime opportunity for me. Like, I don't know how often I'll do this, but maybe a once and only time I ever see Volkanovski fight. Just that crowd, man. Like, the atmosphere was insane. Like, I've never experienced anything like it. Like, just the day itself was just awesome. It was such a great vibe inside Kudos Bank Arena, and yeah, it was fantastic. And obviously Volk retained. He's still the featherweight champ, the greatest of all time in that division. And I'm editing the vlog and all that. You guys will see it on my personal channel, Haynes_T. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. That's where you guys are going to see my match day vlogged in the match watch-alongs for the Roosters this season, and then every other content regarding the Roosters will be here on the Sydney Roosters Diehards for your match previews and match reactions and all that kind of stuff. So, but I can't wait to upload that vlog for you guys tonight sometime. It's gonna be insane. I can't wait for it. But yeah, it was such a great day. Like I paid a little bit extra than usual. I did buy a VIP package for the day, and it was just such an awesome day. Honestly, you rock up about 9, 10 o'clock. VIP package for a couple hours. That like a few UFC fighters there for autographs and photos and all that. I actually got to meet Jack Della Maddalena, and he's a champion bloke, and because obviously he's an Aussie, but yeah, the whole day itself was such a vibe, and I just still couldn't wrap myself around the fact that I was there inside Kudos Bank Arena for a UFC live event where Alexander Volkanovski was the main card and Volk was able to retain on home soil. Like the Land Down Under, his walkout, bro, the whole crowd singing Land Down Under, Down Under. It was just insane. The words can't describe the excitement and the day it was. So I can't wait to share it with you guys when the match day vlog, the 5-day vlog, you could say, comes out either tonight or tomorrow morning. Can't wait for it. How's DCE? He's looking sharp. Yeah, look, we'll discuss a little bit about that shortly. But yeah, from what we've seen, he's, obviously a lot of people are praising DCE and from within the club and former players as well. So, only time will tell with that one. But yeah, we'll discuss it a little bit further later on in the episode. As you can see, I'm wearing the, I'll take the green screen off just for a moment. Give me one moment. Yeah, as you can see, I'll just turn that down. So yes, I am currently right now in the warm-up tee that was worn by James Tedesco. Really comfy, Like we'll do a live review of this. It's stretchy, it's super comfy. Funny enough, so obviously I was at the Sydney FC game against the Wanderers, the Sydney Derby on Saturday with Brody from City Vintage. And I saw in the corner of my eye I was thinking about going into the game. I was like, at the Superstore at Allianz, what kind of Roosters merch are they going to have already? And I saw this and a few other Roosters bits and pieces in the store. I said to the bros, like, we're going to get in there. We're going to go see what we can get. Now, originally they weren't selling Roosters items at Allianz, but we actually convinced them to allow us to buy this tee. And God, man, it's so comfy. And as you can see, it's such a sick design. Obviously, I believe this is the warm-up tee. Obviously, the red Adidas on the sides, same the East on the side, man. It is an absolutely sick and cool design. So I believe the club store at Bondi Junction sold out of this item. And I believe the online store sold out, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not too sure about Rebel, not too sure about Peter Winscore and all that. But I will say, if you guys are planning on heading to a Sydney FC game in the next week or two, I seriously suggest going if you want to get your hands on this, because they are currently in the club store at Allianz Stadium. So get your hands on them before they start rolling out when the season starts. So there'll be more opportunities to get some. But before the trials, get next weekend, get your hands on some Roosters gear, the new Adidas Roosters gear, because I've got the jersey now, the shorts, and now the training tee, the warm-up tee. It is such beautiful design and just so comfy and stretchy for us thickies like myself. It's breathable. So yeah, like look how stretchy it is. It's such a cool design, and can't wait. And I've touched on it a little bit else over the last couple of weeks or so, ever since the Adidas range started to unveil. It is absolutely game changing that Adidas is our current sporting manufacturer, and we've got plenty more years left with Adidas, and I'm just excited for what else we've got in store. Right, let's just get back to regular proceedings. Let's get our back green screen. There we go, the beautiful Allianz Stadium. But yeah, usually they don't allow it, but we managed to make it work. So a little bit of a tip there for you guys going into. If you guys are planning on heading to any Sydney FC games or any events at Allianz Stadium before round 2 against the Rabbitohs. All right, let's get into today's the weekend's news. which I did post on Saturday. So obviously the lower grades are in action. The Laurie Daly and Andrew Johns Cup kicked off this weekend, over the weekend. And on top of that, there's a few more trials between SG Ball and Howard Matson. That some good news though on that part. The Howard Matson and SG Ball sides return this week. Their round one kicks off this weekend, and all games will be live streamed on Bar TV Sports through the New South Wales Rugby League TV. So if you are, obviously the Roosters are back in action next weekend in the top grade with a trial game next weekend against the Tigers. If you are, obviously we've got footy back this week with the other preseason games on Saturday. But if you guys are hanging out, frothing for some rugby league football, in particular the Roosters, we do have the lower grades in action, the SG Ball and Harold Matt's teams in action, as along with the Laurie Daly and Andrew Johns Cup teams and all that. And obviously, considering the fact that the SG Ball side are the current defending premiers in SG Ball, so it'll be obviously a great opportunity to see the young fellas in action. And no doubt that some of them will be featured in the next week or two, which we'll get into very, very shortly. But the main reason why I'm talking about it now, obviously, the Central Coast Roosters side, their season kicked off for the Andrew Johns and Laurie Daly Cup teams. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that this competition is either under 14s, under 15s, under 16s. I think Harold Bats 17s and then 19s for SG Ball and that. So very, very lower junior grade. So it's not about that in particular. It was what they were wearing, as you guys saw on my Instagram page, or the Sydney Roosters Diehards Instagram page. What they were wearing on Saturday, which was all Adidas. So they were in the white away jersey. I will turn the green screen off just for a quick second, and so you guys can get a better look at the photo. So I don't know if you guys can see that very, very well. That's pretty bad. Bear with me one moment. I don't have the technology just added on screen, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. We got this one from the Roosters Central Coast team. I don't know if you guys can see that all well or not. Anyway, I'll put an Instagram reel if that makes it any better. Okay, so obviously, like I said, so the Laurie Daly team and the Andrew Johns Central Coast Roosters side were in action on the weekend. Both recording victories, 44-18 for the Andrew Johns Cup team and 58-12 for the Laurie Daly Cup team. But what they were wearing really, really intrigued me. They were wearing all Adidas kit, which is very, very similar to the leaked Roosters away jersey that was leaked by a few other people in the community over the last, before we got our hands on it, about December or so. Can't really remember. December or sometime. It's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much confirming that. And obviously watching that game on the weekend and seeing the shorts were Adidas, and I'm like, this is the away kit this year. It's confirmed. If the lower grades have got their hands on it first, this is the away kit. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different because of the sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So basically, the leaked, if you go back and look at the Sydney Roosters Diehards Instagram page for around the same time we did that podcast with Retro Rugby League discussing it, which I'll get it up on screen for you guys just to give you guys a little bit more refresher of it. Here it is. Yeah, that one on screen that we posted on the 7th of December when it was posted in December. That is pretty much our away kit this year, which was leaked. Now it's pretty much confirmed, which is very, very similar to the 2005 away jersey. So pretty much confirming that leak, that our rumors that it was going to be the away kit this year. Now, my thoughts on it personally, like we're not here to discuss about the away jersey, that the design of it itself. We've already done that. What I more want to talk about tonight is mainly the fact that, hang on one moment. There we go. So what I'm more discussing about tonight is that it was sort of revealed by the Laurie Daly and Andrew Johns Cup teams, the Central Coast Roosters team, which I feel like is a little bit of the downer of the moment kind of thing. Now, personally, I think it's a very amateur way for a kid to be leaked like that. Obviously, if you get leaks from other people, which we've seen already, That's part of it, eh? That's part of it. Obviously, if you're a Roosters fan that's not into that, like, what's the way to put it? If you're an NRL fan or a Roosters fan that isn't interested in the lower grades, you wouldn't pick up on this. But because myself and many other Roosters fans and NRL content creators as well, they would also pick up on this because they are intrigued in watching the lower grades, like myself. So that's why I was able to spot that. Watching the lower grades, watching the Andrew Johns and Laurie Daly Central Coast Roosters sides, seeing that they're in all Adidas, because you take my point correctly about last weekend, the Roosters, SG Ball, and Harold Matt's teams had trial games if they were wearing the Castor old jerseys. But the Central Coast, with their season starting, they were in all Adidas, which is the same design as the leaked away kit from that was posted last year. So pretty much confirming that that is going to be our away kit for 2026. And if my rumors are true, that the 95 jersey that was tipped to be the away jersey, that's going to be into a heritage jersey sometime this year. So keep an eye on that one. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this, on how it's been revealed that way. I feel it's a little bit amateur to see it revealed that way, considering that we're the last team to post or release our away jersey officially. And considering that we've got trial games up next week where we're scheduled to be the away team, I feel like we might get away with it because the Tigers, we might not clash because their orange, their colours mainly orange, while ours is mainly obviously red, white, and blue. But who knows? Maybe we might, because we're the away team, we might be wearing the away strip. So I don't want that to be revealed either. I also don't, obviously this is not a big issue for the club because obviously not the entire fan base is going to be watching the lower grades right now, but obviously the diehards like myself and you know, maybe you guys, who knows, but mainly the diehards, they will pick up on it. But the Roosters fans are only, and I'm not saying that it's wrong or right or whatever, but the Roosters fans that only watch the NRL team, they won't recognize it and they don't think it'll be a big issue. And I don't think it's a big issue, but knowing that, like, I watch the lower grades, and I know a lot of Roosters fans in here watch the lower grades, you guys will be able to pick that up. And I was with Brody on Saturday night on the way to the City Derby, and we called it out straight away. I was like, that's the away kit right there. Because the Central Coast got because I noticed it because of the red Adidas stripes on the shorts. So they're all in Adidas, and that was an Adidas jersey. So pretty much confirming that is going to be the away kit for 2026. But I do want to hear your guys' thoughts on the way that has been revealed this way. Like, I don't think it's a big issue personally, but considering that other clubs have made content on, you know, and considering how we sort of made content on the home jersey, would love to see it similar to the away jersey as well, because there's a lot of hype and a lot of anticipation about it. I just feel it's a little bit of downer of the mood now that we sort of know what it is because we've just seen it through, you know, the Laura Daly and Andrew Johns Central Coast Roosters side. So, and if it's not released by this weekend, we're going to see more of a better picture of it when SG Ball and Harold Matts that play their round one if they're the away team, which I'm actually going to get that up for you guys, Rod. New South Wales Rugby League. Draws. Which is also good indication for you guys. Okay, all right. So we actually play the Warriors in New Zealand in Jersey. Oh, that's Jersey Flag. What am I doing? SG Ball. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got the wrong competition. Jersey Flags in seat with the New South Wales Cup team, which is in round one with the NRL. So hold the horses on that one. So the Roosters play Penrith this weekend at Mascot, which is the home team. So we'll wear the home kit. Harold Matts. We play the Panthers 9:00 at Mascot as well. Central Coast are at home. Okay, so not this week. They're going to see it on screen, but next weekend potentially we might see it on screen before they reveal it. Now, I don't want. I like I said, I think a lot of Roosters fans are asking me. I don't have the answers for you guys, but it won't be long now. I have to say, but at least by next week we will see it officially announced by the club because we've got an upcoming trial game that we're scheduled to be the away team. So they've got to do it at some point. But obviously, confirming that is going to be our away kit this year. Disappointing to see it revealed that way. But it is what it is. We're going to find out eventually what it was going to look like. But it would have been nice to see the Roosters do some content behind it, like the other clubs have done. And considering that we've waited so long for it, it would have been nice to see the anticipation in that be or worth it to be revealed that way, but to be only be revealed by the lower grades wearing it first and seeing it firsthand for the lower grades, I think it's a little bit disappointing in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts in the comments if you agree or disagree with my take there. League Scene Pod says Laurie Dale is 16s. Andrew Johnson under 18s, and mostly, regional areas, which I thought. Plus, Central Coast Roosters having mats in ball in the Metrocons as well, showing the pathway area. Yeah, I thought that. I obviously we knew the Central Coast with the Harold Mats team, but I didn't know they had an SG ball team this year. Wow, there you go. So it looks like the academy's expanding. We've got two. Obviously, we've got. I did not know that. I did not know that we had an SG ball team for the Central Coast Roosters. Oh yeah, Woy Oval against Balmain. There you go. So we'll just continue on that for just a quick second. So obviously, if you guys are around the area this weekend, we've got two. If you guys are up in Sydney this week, down in Sydney this weekend, the Roosters and the Panthers are doing battle. And then in round one of both Harold Mats and SG Ball, that kicks off. Obviously, early kickoff for the Harold Mats team, 10 o'clock kickoff at Mascot Oval, and then obviously 11:30 for SG Ball, the reigning premiers. And then anyone who is up the Central Coast way, or see, for me it's down, but for you guys it's up. So if you guys are up the Central Coast way, Woy Oval this weekend, both the debut of the SG Ball Cup side for the Roosters Central Coast team, they take on the Balmain Tigers at 2:30 p.m. kickoff at Woy Oval, and for Harold Mats, they'll take on the Balmain Tigers at 12 o'clock. G'day, Jake. How are you, my friend? Patrick is in here. Patrick Gillespie. Can't wait to see the boys wear it against the Tigers in the preseason next weekend. Will they? That's a big question. It all depends on what all really depends on can they get away with wearing the home one? Because I know they'll wear the home one against the Parramatta Eels in Gosford, but for the second trial. But I know for the first trial, they're the away team, and you probably feel that they're going to wear the away strip and sort of reveal it that way, maybe. And because the Tigers' home jersey is primarily orange, I think they might get away with wearing the home one next weekend. So only time will tell. We'll wait and see. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a panic concern from the Roosters. I think they're not going to really look into this too much, but I do think, though, at least by next weekend, we'll see it at least revealed by the club in some capacity. Matty says, "Hey, mate, you saw me on Saturday going to be making Roosters content." Oh, yes, Matty, yes. Bro, good to see you again, bro. Yes, I do remember seeing that. Speaking to you after the Sydney Derby. Yes, keep an eye out, bro. And, good luck with your journey, my friend. Obviously, you got in the live chat can see his tag there. If you want to go subscribe and follow his content, it'd be great. And like I said, I'm a big advocate for a lot of Roosters fans in the content community. Like, obviously, we're seeing in the last recent events, we've got Lummy, Leaguey, when he revealed himself as a Roosters fan, Patrick Gillespie on TikTok. We've got a few other bits and pieces as well. I know Mic'd Up Ash. I think there's these young brothers who are Roosters fans who do content on TikTok as well, obviously. So it's great to see the community thriving and community growing as well, which is great to see. Caught the warm-up tee yesterday. It's so nice. Yeah, it is. Like, obviously, we were speaking about it on Saturday as well. But, yeah, it's very, very nice indeed. Chunk says they seem to leave their jersey reveals too late. Yeah, we've always been known for that. I don't know if it's a marketing strategy. I don't know. I don't know any information about it. I just report what I see, and yeah, it is. Obviously, a lot of content creators I speak to always message me saying, "When are you guys going to post the release the away jersey?" Mate, what do I know? I'm just a fan, bro. But yes, obviously, content wise, and that would be a little bit annoying. But obviously. we don't know the situation. There might be some delays for within the club or Adidas. We don't know. I don't have the information for you guys, unfortunately. I'm not that well connected to the club. But yeah, so yeah. So that's all I know at the moment. That's all I know. But we should know soon. Well, I last heard when I've had obviously we've had a few conversations within the club, or not the Roosters, but like the with the Roosters shop at Bondi Junction. I know the guy that works there. He's a great champion fella. We've had myself and a few others ring the club ring the club store and ask about it, and they told us as early as early Feb was the latest. So that's all I know at the moment for you guys. So unfortunately, Rebel's starting to sell all our stock. Yeah, well, I did notice that too, which is great. More variety kind of thing. As well, that I did actually ask the Allianz Stadium store if they got their away jerseys, which they haven't got them yet, because I was intrigued, because last year we saw the away jersey get leaked at Allianz Stadium team store when a mate of mine took a photo and sent it to me. It's like, that's the away jersey. And then obviously we had the discussions about how terrible it looked. So the Roosters made a mistake doing that, but it looks like they've redeemed themselves by not showing it on display at Allianz Stadium for a Sydney FC game, when from what I experienced on Saturday night, there was a lot of Roosters fans that support Sydney FC in the A-League. So pretty wise that they haven't done it. That hasn't been new releases, haven't been put on display at Allianz Stadium for a Sydney FC game like they did last year. Is Reece Robson doing well? Far as I know, he is, my man, and really excited, and can't wait to see him in action as well. Right, so obviously we all knew the schedule for the preseason challenge. Obviously, however, so the NRL put a post up today, sort of giving a timeline / like the way that it's structured for the preseason challenge this year. So obviously the first trial games kick off this weekend with the 4 Vegas teams doing battle before they hit their main squad with a hit out before they head off to Vegas very, very shortly. So next weekend, the NRL put up they put up sort of a timeline for the preseason challenge that kicks off this weekend. So week 1, road to Vegas. Vegas teams doubleheader with obviously the 4 Vegas teams. Week 2, Rising Stars take stage. Next generation on show. So Tigers and the Roosters, obviously the 3:50 p.m. game in Newcastle. So, and obviously and then the week 3 is all systems go. New combos, new stars, fresh hope. So what it looks like it's going to be structured is that we're going to see the 4 Vegas teams have their first hit out before their preparation before they head off to Vegas. Next weekend is going to be the next generation. So it looks like the youngsters of all the clubs are going to be all playing in that game. And then week 3 is going to be the big guns getting some match fitness in before the season opener. So, which is really exciting, because obviously the Roosters and a lot of clubs have been doing this for a while now. Now, not necessarily last year. I know we had a lot of kids playing that game in against the Dragons, I believe. But then obviously the year before, when we played the Rabbitohs in Belmore, that game was highlighted because of all the Vegas teams were already in the US preparing for the Vegas opener the week after. So obviously the Roosters didn't have a lot of first grade experience, and the Rabbitohs as well. They basically played the SG Ball Stage New South Wales Cup teams in that game. Obviously, as you remember, Dylan Napa was our captain and the most experienced player on the field, and Big Pappy was doing Big Pappy things that day. But which is really exciting to see, how it's structured with the preseason challenge. It's like I've always had interest and intrigue with preseason games, in particular because of the fact is like I haven't seen the Roosters play since September. I'm excited for Roosters footy. I'm frothing Roosters footy, and I can't wait to see the Roosters back on my screens again and going back to the games and, all the stuff I do when watching the Roosters. But it's also a great opportunity for a fan like myself who is deeply invested financially, emotionally with the Sydney Roosters, that I want to see the future. And the trial games are the greatest example of doing that. we've seen the young kids get that exposure at the first grade level. And I think it's been a game changer seeing the preseason games that been live stream, or not live stream, but being televised on Fox League for the last couple of years now. It's such a great exposure because I remember back in the day, like even like 5-6 years ago, trial games televised was a thing. It was, I think, like never heard of. Like you only found out if the club put it on their club website or in the paper or in the news the next day. So you don't know who played unless you read it in the paper. You don't know the score unless you read it in the paper. But now it's televised. You get to see, your team play footy again. But at the same time, you get to see, like when you got rugby league mind like myself, when and watch the lower grades like myself and other Roosters fans, and all across the board for all clubs. You get to see the next generation do battle, and you see, you get that exposure that they deserve. And that was one of the best things about the under-20s competition because it was televised, because it was played before the first grade in sync with first grade. So you got to see, the under-20s do battle and see, the future of the club. And the same thing as well with the trial game. So if you take your mind back to that game at Belmore a couple of years ago against the Rabbitohs, when both teams had all their players in Vegas and Brett Morris was the coach for the Roosters that day, we saw the next gen go head-to-head with the Rabbitohs next kids as well. The Roosters come out 48-12, which it was a great performance, but the score wasn't the biggest picture for me that day. And then when you look back on it now, in the lead up to today's episode, I went back and looked at the team list. So if I get it up, did I screenshot it? No, I did not. Let me just get it up again. Roosters, Rabbitohs, preseason 2024. Okay, here we go. I watched the highlights today and I went back at the team list. Okay, so I'll read out the Roosters team list and I'll give you the best. And I'll tell you how many you reckon you guys can recognize. This was 2 years ago. Callum Gromick, if you don't recognize him, he plays in the New South Wales Cup side. Alex Young, Dom Young's brother, irrelevant, unfortunately, in this situation. Kyron Fiakoda, Ethan Clark-Wood, played reserve grade, now he's at Leeds. Kobe Thomas, Xavier Vata, there you go, there's one of them, Xavier Vata. We saw him debut this year, now longer in the Super League. Tyler Moriarty, we saw a little bit earlier. I've spoken on him before. He's at the Cowboys. Big puppy, Dylan Harper. 13 at lock, Celesi Feketi. 14, Benai Leu. Zach Sadler, another one. High hopes. 17, Taylor Lasalu, debuted this year. And that's pretty much it. So, the players I've just mentioned, but in particular, Xavier Vata, Celesi Feketi, Benai Leu, and Taylor Lasalu. All played in this game. And I'll be honest with you, the only person I knew was Tyler Moriarty, Xavier Vata, and Dylan Napa in this game, because obviously, and Ethan Clark-Wood was actually on mates with a guy who used to room with Ethan Clark-Wood, so that's how I knew him. But like, it gives you a good example of the players I just mentioned. Like, because of this trial game, we saw, and I remember Xavier Vata playing well that day, and I said, well, this kid, and I said to everyone, like, mate, this kid is going to be a gun, and he is a gun. Tyler Moriarty, I had a lot of high praises on, and I still do. Obviously, big happy, but Celesi Feketi, I thought he had a standout that day. I was like, bro, watch this guy. Benai Leu as well, watch this guy. But now, and then you look into 2025, you see Benai debut, you see Celesi Feketi debut. It just, like, seeing them play in that trial game 2 years ago, you go, well, we knew this was coming because we saw them play in that trial game against Souths, and they killed it. And then you see them in the lower grades and you see them kill it, and then they rise in the first grade, and the rest is history. And then you go into last year's trial game when we played the Dragons. Let me get back that up for you guys. Roosters Dragons preseason 2025. Now it was a little bit different this year. Last year, because we didn't really we played a pretty strong team in comparison, but like obviously not full strength, but like obviously like regulars that you heard of. So obviously the lineup was Ethan King, Dom Young, Marky Mark, Toya, Junior Ponga, Sando, Chad Townsend. The front row of the Fahu White, Spencer Linu, Benai Leo was at 9. You guys obviously wouldn't have, going into the season, probably thinking, who's Benai kind of thing. Celeste Fichetti played in that game as well. Does that Delasal Va'a, he played in that game. And then you look at the bench. Taylor Salu, Makatoa debuted this year. Max McCarthy debuted this year. Toby Rodwell played in that game. Jake Elliott played in that game. Ben Johnson played in New South Wales Cup this year. Hugo Savala played, and we got our first look at Hugo Savala. Reece Foley, he'd be very, very to keep an eye out in this trial game next weekend. Tyrese Tate, another one. Tom Rodwell, we saw him debut this year. And Aloka Toya, which is Bobby T's brother. We get to see in these trial games, we get to see their exposure and see what they can do. They get that exposure for the wider audience to see what they're capable of. And then when they hit first grade, we're like, I remember seeing him playing the trial games. He was an absolute gun. He's got a lot of potential and all that kind of stuff. So that's what the best part about trial games are. It's not necessarily all about the result. It's mainly seeing, the young kids get a go and see what they're made of and see the potential that they have and, the stars of the future kind of thing. And obviously with the big guns play, it's all about building combinations, their first hit out of the season and get to see new combinations and new players shine. So obviously I'm very, very intrigued with our trial games this year because we've obviously got new halves combination with Sando and new halves combination with DCE and Sam Walker. We've got a new hooker. So we've got 2 new spine members in Reece Robson and DCE to link and gel with Tedesco and Sam Walker. We get to see more young kids have that exposure and play and see what they're made of. And on top of that as well, and as well, Hugo Savala, tipped to be playing 13 this year. He's been training at 13, which I've heard. So we get to see him play at lock in the trial games and see how his progression transition going from 5'8" to lock. So that's the benefits of these trial games being televised, and that's the benefits of having these trial games and why I'm so intrigued and I'm so interested in watching these trial games because it means a lot. It doesn't seem a lot. You don't gain anything on the competition ladder. You don't get any favors. You don't get any advantages. All you get, on the competition side, but in the club squad, you get to see the club in action. The young kids in the next gen have that taste of a first grade capacity, intensity, and see what they're made of. So that's what the best parts of the trial games for me anyway. Hainsey, do I wear my Roosters Heritage training jersey or traditional home jersey against Souths? Wear anything you want, my friend. Anything Roosters against Souths is by all means warranted. I got my probably wear my Heartland shirt that Brody made. Might probably wear that again. So anything Roosters against the arch rival, and anytime the Roosters are in action, anytime that you go watch the Roosters play, as long as you've got Roosters gear on you, it is fine by me, and it's above board. That's how I see it. All right, so that might pretty much end us, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone a little bit over nearly 40 minutes, so just obviously not a lot to talk about, but there was a few things that needed to get off my chest there. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll get the latest episode of the podcast out this week sometime. I'm not too sure if we will be back in action tomorrow. Not 100% sure. Well, depends on what the news circulating is at the moment. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, follow the Instagram page as well. And the Sydney Roosters Diehards relays Roosters update news and opinions. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you got any questions in the live chat and want to be answered, give us a DM on the Diehards page on Instagram, and we'll add it for the next episode. And I just missed a question there, which I'll answer tomorrow. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, goodbye for now, and go the Roosters.